Hi, I'm Heather, and this is one of those mini videos that I don't know yet if it's more for me or if it's something I'll share. I think the direction I want to go is I want it to be stuff that I would share with, I don't know, with folks who kind of understand the business aspects of what I need to process. And so, yeah, I'm going to try as best I can to stick to only sharing details that are required to understand the story. And mostly, I'm looking to kind of validate for myself, but also if somebody watches, oh shit, I'm gonna need water. Anyhow, uh, yeah, validation will come just by me speaking it out loud, but also knowing that I may very well share it with trusted folks, and or maybe someday it'll be live. I don't know, but that helps me. Basically, I'm speaking to the version of myself that had a handyman service and navigated some far more stressful situations. And so it makes sense that my physical self is having a really hard time navigating this. Not as hard as it would have been a year ago or so, but um, yeah, my skill at recognizing what's happening and knowing how to adjust has definitely improved. Maybe also my capacity. Anyway, so if I were sitting here speaking to my the iteration of myself from, let's see, well, let's say I'm talking to 1997 to 2010. Yeah, because that's when I started at Robert Half International, and 2 years after we closed Highland Helpers Incorporated, S Corp. 2 years after we closed it, so I had opportunity to kind of think a little bit about stuff, and I didn't go back to work for someone else until 2010 when I went back to temping. And landed at the University of Oregon in August of 2010, which was uh, very good timing. Working for a temp agency also was very smart. And the reason for that is because at the time I was approaching significant mental health crisis has been a cycle in my life. And it, you know, reflecting and knowing what I know now, I understand. I understand myself a whole lot better, and I understand why it was hard for others to be around me while I was dealing with all the things I was dealing with and or not dealing with. Oh, hi, hydrangeas. I need to get you more water, stat. Oh my goodness. Wow, you are looking so much like a skull. It's just wild. These little burn marks. Anyway, okay, I gotta get some water. So yeah, I'm gonna walk away, and I'm not gonna like try to speak in two different voices or anything. I'm just gonna think out loud. Oh, and get some water. Okay. And I need to set timers. Water the plants. Get water for myself. Start setting timers. Oh, be prepared to take some notes. Okay. So I'm gonna silence so it's easy to edit this out. And I don't know. What I'll let maybe that tree can be the background. We'll see if it ooh, there we go. That comes in nice. All right. I'll be back when I'm done. All right. So what I'm hoping is that this is hopefully like the final iteration of this story with people who really are out of touch with reality, and also just like really are super clueless, especially about their dogs. And it creates big issues. And so then when I come in and I'm like, hey, there's some big issues here. I had to spend a ton of time working with your dog in order to keep us all safe and happy. And then they're like, but you changed our routine. Like, this is similar with two clients now with asshole dogs. You changed our routine. That's what you did wrong, and you didn't exercise them enough. That was the husky. The Great Dane would have been a problem if I didn't exercise him as much as I did. But anyway, it's these. And then they get mad for like little stuff and don't check in to be like, hey, pretty frustrated that it seems like you left a lot of cleaning tasks undone. What the heck? I thought you were supposed to leave that you said you'd leave the house in same condition you found it. So there's definitely things that I did that weren't that are totally frustrating. And the thing I'm frustrated about is that if I would have communicated differently with either of these clients that are in mind, there are some things I could have done differently. So I guess I'm starting to understand that. But let's see, what am I trying to get at here? I guess the worst case example of this experience is towards the end of the Highland Helpers years, when we were taking on bigger jobs. I knew that it was over and above Jeremy and Jesse's skill level, but they just really felt like, oh no, we can handle it. We'll figure it out. And this is really like pre the days where there's so much information, it's easy to find. Like, in the worst case, and I really tried to talk them out of this, was they were working on a woman's house. She owned, I think it's Ranella Produce or something. I think that was the company that she owned. And they found a bunch of dry rot that, reasonably no one would have really anticipated. And I don't remember all the steps, but it kind of led to this situation where the house needed to be jacked up. Like, this went so too far, so fucking too far. And she was just so intent on saving money, and she was just like just nickel and dimer, and so wouldn't do the right things. And what we should have done is just like buttoned it up as best we can. We definitely should have never gotten involved with the jacking the fucking house up. And yeah, there has to be a point at which you just wrap it up as best you can, walk away. So in that case, like, there were times that she would be yelling at me on the phone, and one time I had to like pull over on the side of the road. I was driving somewhere, I don't remember where, and I'm sure I was in a time crunch, and she calls, and I go ahead and answer thinking, well, if it's a simple thing, I could talk to her and I don't have to necessarily pull over. And then she starts yelling at me. And I get to the point where I'm like, I'm going to cry. Like, I need to pull over. And yeah, she's like yelling at me, and I'm starting to cry. And a big aspect of it is that it's like this, where they are the client avatar I'm thinking of is like they literally live in a different land than I do, a different reality. And I understandably so have a hard time meeting them close enough to their reality that they can understand me. So then we end up in chances are good they probably do this to like every service provider that they work with. I mean, I don't think they singled me out. It's just my individual experience with clients who do this sort of shit. And it's one of the reasons why people are afraid to do service-based business, because there's so many fucking entitled assholes who just decide, the customer is always right. And if I bully enough, then, they won't, they'll give me a credit or whatever. And I'm going to complain about every little thing that they did, and give no appreciation whatsoever for the things that they had to do that weren't originally part of our plan. Like, those people are like, I don't remember what I said anymore, but disrespect of my time and expertise is something that just pisses me off. And that's at play here. So I'm sure the whole foundation situation, again, I don't remember all the details. I'm sure there did come a point where we did just have to give it to another contractor. We probably had to find the fucking contractor for her. I don't know. And then for months later, she's still calling and yelling at me about stuff and trying to get she owed us money for a really long time, and I don't know. I don't know if I ended up finally just writing it off, but I worked my fucking ass off for every dollar from that goddamn client, and I think because of material costs and because she refused change orders, I think we even ended up eating some of the fucking expense. So it's not like we even made money on it. It's like we broke even, and that doesn't even take into account the fucking hours of misery I experienced directly as well as indirectly. So fucking costly. So, in this case, I do need to review the email I sent her sit. I am pretty sure I put like every concern in writing that she had communicated. And I do need to verify, like, did I cover everything that needed to be covered? And hopefully I said in that email, like, depending on what happens, I may need to add fees. I don't recall. So I'm gonna have to check that. So check my email. I'm proud of myself that I actually did one. I don't always do that. Well, actually, that was one of the first times I did that, but it was because there were so many elements. It'd be interesting if the Kong is on there too, because I don't think she ever read it. That's the thing too. Anyway, I'm trying to cover my butt, so I'm going to check that email. I did attempt to say I'm going to need a second person, at least part time. She was like, "No, you won't." What I needed to say at that time is, it's important to understand that dogs are different with people other than their owners, particularly with somebody who's currently a stranger and they don't have an established relationship. The likelihood is any behaviors they have that are undesirable in any way get magnified, and sometimes they think they need to protect the house, or they want to be the dominant one. And so that happens sometimes, and sometimes it's no biggie, and we work through it that first day. And I just kind of factor that in. That happens once in a while. But when a dog it has behaviors and is acting towards me in a way that is aggressive, that is like argumentative, basically, and bullying, and his Great Dane was throwing his actual body around. He shoulder checked me a couple of times while I was evaluating, and he only surprised me once. Well, the second time, the time he put bruises on my arm, like, that was a little bit of a surprise. Anyway. Anyway, this level of entitlement and this customer is always right. No, you're not. The customer is not always fucking right. And it's not, I don't know where this idea, like maybe in a retail environment where there's huge profit margins and, like someplace like Nordstrom that wants to just have this extraordinary customer service and can afford to do so because it's expensive when the customer's always right, because it's, oh God, okay. So, so she did not even ask any questions. She gave me no opportunity whatsoever. She just immediately jumped to conclusions that were inaccurate. And yeah. So, and she responded immediately, like the very same day. So she comes home from a long vacation. I'm sure it was a super long day. She was exhausted. Her dog had a vet issue because this is one of the issues we have between us. So I'm sure that was exhausting. I had inadvertently, like totally by accident, had left more of a dirty space than I ever do. And that, of course, was very frustrating. And there was just a couple things that I didn't get to that if I had gotten to them, it never would have been an issue. But because I forgot that, of course, she was mad. But there was a lot of information she was missing that would have, it all made sense. Anyway, it's this immediate response. Of course she was tired. Of course she was already like stretched thin. And it makes sense that her reaction would be pretty significant. What's inappropriate is, especially in a business environment, but honestly, even in a a personal environment, is not fucking appropriate to immediately lash out, to immediately react to the person that you're, like reacting to. That is what leads to so many fucking problems. And if instead, like, the mature thing to do, the is pause. Never react when you're exhausted. Never react when you feel like shit. Never react when you're completely overwhelmed. The only time that something needs to be responded to at that level of urgency is if it's literally a 911. And bitching at the pet sitter is not a 911. Let me tell you, it's just a symptom of you need to slow down. Yeah, and I never really get a chance to kind of like go on these business rants, and so that's part of what is one of my needs, is I need to be able to do this. But I also have to do it in a way, of course, that clients hopefully won't be able to identify that it's them I'm talking about, or other people wouldn't be able to identify. So I have to be careful about names and all this stuff. And it's just, there's such this fear-based, lack-based, adversarial, Walmart fucking mentality with business. And then also this like immature reactivity I deserve to immediately blow up on everybody. It doesn't matter if they're family or friends or some stranger. Everybody gets the same intensity. Like, no, that's not cool. And if that's happening, then maybe it's really more information for you than really that you're running into that many assholes. I mean, so this immediate reaction, that first draft, is never the one it's like so rarely the thing that's what you really meant. And it requires all this like energy, and then it's like throwing a hot potato at someone else, and in this case virtually a stranger, but also somebody in business with her, not her sister or something, So not that I'm advocating that people are abusive to their family. I'm just saying I can imagine it in a family environment being appropriate and normal when it's not. But anyhow, inappropriate. This immediate reactivity. Business never needs to be done at all hours, again, unless it's an actual emergency. This idea of available 24 hours a day and I have to respond instantly is just fucked up. What I would prefer is we went back to like the pace of, I don't know, I guess even pre-fax machine, because it's when things became instant that opened up too much space for immature reactivity and drama. And Jerry Springer played a role in that. I'll make the connection eventually, but it's so fucking annoying. So then I find myself, before I could respond, I have to do a whole bunch of work. I have to change my entire plan and my entire schedule in order to accommodate, because unfortunately, I do not yet know, and perhaps I never will, how to handle one of those situations without it costing me a great deal of time. Like, I don't know how to do it any faster. So I suppose actually one way would be to practice this more. I didn't do this until, well, no, I did. I don't know. Anyway, I got to fine tune my process, because it cannot take as much fucking time and energy as it has. I had better plans for this fucking weekend. And then also, then my partner and I had this fucking lame ass fight for a super long time, and felt like crap. And that I had to process all that. So it's been a lot. I'm glad I'm in one of my familiar home environments, but not in my own, because my households are making me nuts. The thing that's kind of interesting, though, is as soon as I typed up finally all of the agreements as best as I could remember them, and I sent them to everybody, and I make changes, adjustments, whatever. This is just the best I can remember. And almost immediately, there was this feeling of cooperation. Like, I don't know, was it that they read it and they finally understood, like, the agreements that I was really wanting to call attention to? Like, are you really reading everything in a neutral tone, or are you hearing a tone every time you read something, like, especially from me? Well, I go to great lengths to put everything as neutral as conceivably possible. And if you're reading it in some way, that's you, man. And people keep yelling at me about it, and I'm like, why is it that I thought we agreed. Just take my messages as total literal, um, totally neutral information sharing, basically. Okay, it's time for some medicine. And yeah, I'm hoping that they uh, were reminded that, like, hey, you're supposed to see everything as neutral, and or check if you feel like something's not neutral, then check. But preferably verbally, not on text. Hopefully they saw that they weren't doing that. Hopefully also they'll take responsibility for the fact that one of our foundational agreements is no inflammatory or highly emotional, like, messages on text. I mean, if it's happy, that's fine. You can be jumping for joy on text, but because if you're that highly emotional, then, and it's not a 911, if it's literally not an emergency, and there's very few of those, let me tell you, then it can wait. If you're feeling all fucking riled up, just that's for you, man. Just, like, that's first draft. Kind of feel that through. Go for a walk. You know what works really fucking well? Go for a walk. And if you got a dog, if you're not walking your dog every day, like, you're really being an asshole to your dog and yourself. So the movement shakes shit out. I always have so many creative thoughts, and on my walk with George this morning, oh my god, I was having, like, a fucking ball, having all these great thoughts, and they're all a continuation of other threads that have been coming together. And the only reason these threads come together is because I create an environment where I have all the time and space I want. I can spend it however I want within reason. I can redirect the time and energy that's being spent on other people's drama and other people's energy. I can just redirect that to, like, yeah, I'm not the one who's, like, being a wacko right now. I'm gonna just let them do their thing, and I'm gonna just be over here living my awesome life. Um, I don't know where I started with that, but that's one of my practices. It's one of the things that's helping. It's also given me the experience of feeling like I get to live alone for the first time in my entire life, but it's not forever. It's not like long term live alone. It's just while I want to sit, then I go home and be with my sweetie and in my home base, and then I leave. And currently, I am spending more time away than I maybe otherwise would want to. I'd like to be home more than I currently am, but it also helps because I don't like the bullshit that goes on at home, even with my partner. So coming back to the client thing, I know that my entire external environment is a reflection of my. Why is this not muted? I do not want to hear when he messages me. Options. New settings. God, it's like all or nothing with you fuckers. Like, I just don't want. I get so mad about apps. Okay. It is muted. Oh, yard and gardens. No, that's muted. I don't know. Sometimes it makes noise and it's not supposed to. Unmute. Okay. Unmute. Unmute. Okay. Well, I don't know why you messaged me only. Okay. Okay, I gotta stay on track. So I've been at this ranting for 30 minutes. I don't even know if I've gotten out what I wanted. Okay, I probably only have until 3 to myself, so I'm gonna try and plan accordingly. I should look and see what I need to do today so I could stay on track. I do want to play my video games a little bit. See, that's one of the things that I would have been doing if I hadn't had so much fucking drama to deal with. So one of the great ideas I had was, while I was out with George, is I need to organize. I hate how hard it is, unless I just don't know what to do, how hard it is to organize the back end of YouTube, to have like some sort of system for however, can I do it by name? I don't know. I guess I just can't remember if they let you do it alphabetical by name. Maybe I need to figure that out. But anyway, also I just want to put it somewhere else. I'm just going to put it somewhere else. So I'm going to create basically a file cabinet account that either the stuff will just always be private or unlisted and just accessible by the team, or maybe there'll come a point that it is public. Maybe the second draft or something goes public. Who knows? Anyhow, that's a great idea because, yes, it's just getting to be really hard to track stuff across all the places that I have to move videos. I fucking hate how many times I have to move a video in order to get it edited. So I need to delegate that, and or someone will figure out how to do it without it being so fucking annoying and time consuming. Okay. I'm getting hungry. I did have a super good breakfast. Let's what did I order? I ordered something. Oh, what? Why? I hate it when they do that. See, I'm grumpy. All this bullshit makes me grumpy when I have to waste time on other people's bullshit. Okay. Okay. What did I do well? Let's try to focus on what I did well. Number one, I saw her message. I didn't read it immediately. I came back to it later. I think I looked at it quickly, saw that there was frustration and upset there. I went, okay. I walked away, came back a little while later. I'm pretty sure I saw it come through late at night. That's a big key. Don't read it. I think it was late the next afternoon that I looked at it or something. And then I just paused, and I did start reacting in my own head. I did start like speaking it out loud. I did record a bunch of videos of me practicing like what I would want to say. And that's where the time consuming part comes in. But as I was like looking those over and getting into the editing process and all this sort of stuff, I realized, okay, there's simpler ways, there's faster ways. And I kept fine tuning. And then the thing that I don't know how I can get to it any faster, but finally I had practiced each like specific response to each of her concerns. I had practiced each one multiple times. I had even recorded individual like segments of each one. I'd read the transcript. And so finally I realized, okay, I can just kind of go off the cuff. I just will have bullet points. So it just takes that many times of practice, basically. And it's frustrating. And everybody says that's disordered. And that's one of the hallmarks of autism, is how much time you spend preparing. And I don't know, maybe if everybody spent a little more time preparing for conversations, there would be a whole lot less fucking repair required and upset and hurt feelings. You just void them in the first place, and then it's just so much easier. It did happen to be on the 4th of July weekend, so that bought me some more time too, which I was grateful for. I was like, no one within reason is going to expect a response on a holiday weekend. No, I don't work on a holiday weekend. I just didn't work with her. And that was, I hated how much time it took while I was on the sit. I had other plans. Finally, Monday morning, I got started again and I re-recorded, I think it was like 28 minutes, and then I edited it down a little bit, and was able to hit most of the highlights of what I needed to respond, because I got to balance. Like, I can't go on for like 45 minutes. That's just ridiculous for all of us, but also can't leave much out. And so I sent it. I did include, you know, if you haven't mailed the check yet, can you please pay me by Zelle today? Because as a small business, I don't have a wide margin of cushion in my checking account. So it's really difficult to wait a week for a large payment. So thank you. And they did. They sent it right away. And I don't know if it's because they saw my message and are like, oh shit, forgot to pay, or whatever. I don't know. I got to stop thinking about them. Stop interpreting silence. So yeah, I paused. I feel like my message was really measured and, you know, like business-like. Problem is that business-like these days is so like is not what business was when I was in the professional world. Like people think it's totally appropriate to yell at business folks, and it's not. It's really not. There's really very, very few cases where it's okay to yell at somebody you're in business with. It's really not okay. So I responded in a business-like way. I also know that that is further often what is often misconstrued is I am autistic, so I do things with my face and I do things with my voice, and I like speak in ways that is not what everybody considers to be normal, and it's not what everybody considers to be, this is what you're supposed to do or else you're an asshole. Like, I don't know how to do that. I do my best, but you know what? It's fucking exhausting to like cater to the masses. I really kind of hate this whole idea of majority rules. If most people require you to translate the world for them, then you have to do it. No, I don't think it shouldn't be that way. Okay. I waited, sent a measured response. I had to spend quite a bit of time listening to it again, reflecting. Okay, how do I sound? How do I look? Are there ways that she can misconstrue me further? When I respond in the email, I wrote something like, you know, I hope we can have opportunity to talk about this. If you would like to have a conversation, I'd be available on Thursday or Friday of this week, because I am now creating the boundary myself. I don't want to hear a response from you. Granted, she might react in an email, whatever, that's her call, but I'm not speaking to her before that. And I'm going to do my best not to even look at an email before Wednesday afternoon. So I have to practice the pause because the client apparently does not know how to do that. My best friend was told by her lawyer, always wait a minimum of 24 hours before you respond to anything your ex has sent you, especially if you're pissed or upset. So that's a good rule of thumb. She now lives her life by that. Every once in a while she forgets. And then like recently she came to our friend call that me and it's 3 people, we've all known each other for 30 plus years. She's like, I forgot to not respond until at least 24 hours have passed. That would have saved me a bunch of trouble in this situation. I am going to reinstate that rule. And I like that rule, and I wish more people practiced it. Unfortunately, when I suggest it, 100% of the time so far, when I've said, hey, you know what, it's no rush to respond, I really would encourage you to please wait at least a day before you respond. Yeah, just, it's okay. Just go ahead and sit with it. And I don't know, like, I can't remember how I've said it. It's never gone over well any way that I've tried to say it. And people react instantly again. So that's also been the problem in my house. This instant reactivity, and to listen to my reactivity. And I'm like, no, I don't. No. you're blaming me for like overreacting, and I'm just like, hey, y'all are attacking me, and you seem like crazy to me because we're not living in the same world at all. And it's funny that I'm saying that because another housemate had yelled those things at me, but again, I mean, she was right, but anyway, spiral. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Did my timer. Okay, it's come off again. All right. I am silencing. I got to go do something. Definitely. I'm sure I'm not the first person to like imagine this thing, but it's a chocolate pudding cup with whipped cream and maraschino cherries on top. So it's like a sundae, but without the ice cream. And I'm excited. And it looks like a little face. And I've been wanting one, and I finally remembered to bake it. So good. My new favorite dessert. There'll be lots of variations too. What else did I want to say? I know there was lots of stuff. There were lots of other things. Oh, damn it, what was it? Well, I need to make client report for this client. Super grateful because I ended up needing to stay late, and on the one hand, I got to figure out why I didn't know that already. I'm not sure if he just forgot to tell me, or if I forgot to ask, or what, or if it changed. I don't know. It works out fine this time, but there are times when it wouldn't work. So it feels today as if I got like a bonus day. I'm glad that I don't have to go home until this evening. And I think my partner will come join me for a while, and that'd be great. And so, yeah, I have more time to myself than I otherwise would. And we might go to the river. It might be where my partner and I meet. But also, that puts a crunch on me. I gotta finish my client report, and haven't figured out how to make it not quite so time consuming yet. God, it's obnoxious how long all of this stuff takes. And shoot, and I just remembered that my app, or the program that I use, just surprised me and said, we actually won't let you work on stuff anymore unless you pay. Like, it keeps fucking changes the rules. It's so annoying. So I guess I should go see how much they're gonna fucking charge me now, because they've got me essentially held hostage, because that's where all my stuff is. So, and I'm not in a position to start all over with a new program. This probably will chase me away, though. I'm getting really fucking tired of CapCut pissing me off. All right. Let's go CapCut. What you gonna fucking charge me now? Oh, shoot. I gotta find the damn... Dang it. I moved some things. Shoot, I lost a bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna have to start over. Damn it. Okay. I did this all wrong.
Oh, what's up, George? Does that feel good?
Okay. Oh wait, am I done now? Shoot, okay, today 123. Okay, has I put on the message that other experiment is done? I'm that one can delete it. Okay, so it looks like that. Not in there anymore. Wait, let's see.
Oh, what's up, George? Does that feel good? I'm
Wait, is
having
that
it.
still in there? Yeah. Yeah, that one's there. Okay. 3916, is that in there? No, it is not. Okay. I think I don't need it. That's it. Okay. No, this is already processing.
Oh, little boy, Brian. I'm gonna get secrets.
Okay, I think you're done. All right, now. Oh. All right, doesn't matter. All right.
Ah, zoomies! George, zoomies! That's so fun to see I'm so happy to see you having zoomies. Oh my god, happy boy. I'm so happy to
Okay. Oh, I've been shit. I haven't been muted that whole time. Okay, well the fuckers aren't making me pay anything at this moment, so I'll go back to muted and working on this. Okay, so it says it's 1:30. Let's see. how long this takes without me like having fine-tuned the system.